Sheshadri Chari, what is the now alternative now? We keep saying we want to engage. These attacks have been increasing and have been becoming more and more frequent. What is our alternative now, Mr. Chari?
Arnab, there are three aspects to what is happening now. One is the military aspect, one is the strategic aspect, and one is the political aspect. We all know that not everything is hunky-dory in Pakistan. Islamabad is in great turmoil, and Pakistan army is known to fish in troubled waters. That is exactly what they are doing as far as Islamabad is concerned. They are supporting Tahirul Qadri, and they are also supporting everyone who is opposed to Nawaz Sharif. They want to destabilize Nawaz Sharif, but at the same time they don't want to remove him from power for another 1 hour. They want to teach Nawaz Sharif a lesson that if you want to do anything to keep peace with India, remember, if Pakistan and India remain peaceful and as friends, the Pakistani army will become a bunch of literate, highly radicalized, unemployed group. So they don't want to lose their unemployment. That is the main concern that they are facing today. The military aspect is, after another 15-20 days, the winter will set in and they will not be able to push in any infiltrator into India, and they will not be able to destabilize the coming elections in Jammu and Kashmir. That is the second issue. And the strategic issue is, they want to show to the whole world that we can do anything to India, but India is afraid of escalation of war.
So that's exactly the point I'm asking you, sir, that what are we going to do? Are we going to wait for the winter to set in? Are we going to wait for the winter to set in?
You've already done.
Let me tell you, Arnab, the Pakistani army should realize, the Pakistani army should realize that Indian army can bloody well take any amount of escalation. We can lick the Pakistani army through. Let Mr. Zaidi not make this mistake. I am warning you. I am warning the Pakistani friends.
Pakistan's interest. We don't need a warning. We have no interest in fighting with India. We have too many fights at home. Why would we pick a fight with? Why would we? Meri Jaan, why would we pick a fight with India when we have so many issues at home? It makes no sense.
Well, then why were 120 mm mortars?
I'm telling you, Arnab.
No, 1 second. One minute. General Bakshi, 1 second. Mr. Zaidi, that is the sentiment. What Mr. Chari is saying represents the sentiment of the people of this country. We have had enough. We as a country have had absolutely enough. Your problems are your own. You can't run your country. Your democracy is at risk. You have a puppet prime minister. You have an army that is going amok. The facts of the matter is, Mr. Zaidi, can I tell you, you can go incinerate yourself for all we care. But the fact is, you use long-range 120 mm mortars to kill an Indian child.
We would love it if you
and 5 innocent other Indian civilians. And we believe that only the most dastardly of cowards would do something like that. To settle scores internally by killing Indian children. You want to settle scores internally. When your army shot that 120 mm mortar, did it not know that innocent women and children would die on the Indian side?
No amount of name calling, no amount of name calling would provoke me, and no amount of
there were two flag meetings.
Change my view. Pakistan and India must have normal relations. We must have peace.
No, this is no way in which you have normal relations.
Both sides, and we should move forward. There is no way that your name calling will change that standpoint.
This is Mr. Zaidi. Arnab, can I come in?
Yeah, General Bakshi.
Can I come in?
Go ahead, General Bakshi.
Mr. Zaidi, I like the air of injured innocence that you are projecting here. With due apologies, your country has adopted the use of non-state actors to kill unarmed, innocent Indian women and children in the cities of India. For God's sake, you were watching Pakistan TV. You were watching Geo TV when that gentleman called, Arnab Amil Kasab was on a shooting spree in a railway station in the crowded metropolis of Mumbai. For God's sake, you saw it. You saw that your pattern of targeting is to kill
and we
Indian
condemned
citizens,
it. We
Indian
condemned
civilians,
it. We condemned
unarmed
it
civilians.
without qualification.
And for God's
we
sake,
stood
now
against
we are
it.
having
We
the same
condemned
from
it.
your army.
We stand against it today
we,
as well.
we would not
We stand
like to hear
against it
this
today as
hypocrisy.
well.
You must understand.
There is no
hypocrisy.
Friends, we
Mary John, you must understand.
I'm on the record.
You must understand.
I'm on the record
that the
on this.
people
I don't.
of India are
You can
sick
keep
and
shouting.
tired.
You know, this Nawaz Sharif, you know what happens is, no, 1 second, Abid Rao, I'm coming to you. Let's get Abid Rao. You see Nawaz Sharif's speech, no, 1 second, Nawaz Sharif's speech at the UN, that litany of his, which I will not make any politically incorrect comment like, but the fact is that he tried to internationalize the Kashmir issue and he failed. This was nothing.
The
Mr.
Kashmir
Abid
issue
Rao,
is an international issue.
No, 1 second, please. Now you want to make it an international issue. You can discuss the issue like grown men, not like wayward rowdies who go around firing 120 mortars into Indian homes and killing Indian children. And you think, no, I'm telling you, think
your name calling is not.
This is not name calling; it's a fact. I am saying the Pakistani army is behaving like a bunch of wayward rowdies. It's a description, not an insult.
Fact. When you fire at a birthday party, Mr. Zaidi, it is a fact. And Mr. Zaidi, for your record, I am telling you, Arnab, please let me say this. Mr. Zaidi says that Pakistani Foreign Ministry has put out a press release saying that Indian army fired at civilians in Pakistan. It is absolutely wrong, absolutely not based on facts. But let me tell you one thing, even if it is wrong, if it is true that Indian army has fired on civilians in Pakistan, I feel sorry about it. Please ask Mr. Zaidi, does he feel sorry about what Pakistani army has done to Indian civilians?
I feel
Is
terrible.
he prepared to condemn the Pakistani army right now?
It's terrible. It's tragic.
Can he condemn the Pakistani army right now?
And Abid Rao,
Indian life, Pakistani life, Muslim life, Hindu life, all lives are valuable. We must start with this, and that's why I was asking Arnab, instead of starting off by calling names and calling the Pakistan army names, calling Pakistanis names,
Mr.
why don't we
Zaidi,
acknowledge that 4 Pakistanis also died? So all I was asking for is that Pakistanis and Indians are both human.
No, Mr. Zaidi, please speak. No, I am not prepared to listen to you for even a minute. Please tell me, do you condemn Pakistani army's action or not?
Do you condemn the BSF and its killing of innocent Pakistani civilians? Do you condemn?
I place on record. I place on record that Indian forces. No, 1 second. Let us be clear on facts, Mr. Zaidi. This is a news program.
Yeah.
Indian forces hit back. Yes, we hit back with small arms and mortars for 1 hour. Okay, the Indian army has not targeted Pakistani civilian centers as retaliation. Pakistani army posts have been targeted and they will be targeted. Pakistani army posts will be targeted. And they will continue to be targeted till the Pakistani army does not learn a total lesson and is not punished for what it has made Indian civilians go through. Pakistani army centers will continue to be targeted measure for measure till you don't stop doing what you're doing and you don't learn a lesson for it.
Please be frank. Please be frank, Mr. Zaidi.
All I asked you was, do you condemn the loss of life on the Pakistani side?
Do you have the guts? Mr. Zaidi, do you have the guts to condemn the Pakistani army right now? If you don't have the guts,
do you have the guts to condemn the BSF? Do you have the guts to condemn the BSF on Times Now, on Arnab Goswami's
The BSF has not targeted Pakistan civilian areas. The Indian army has targeted the Pakistan army. And don't read out the fiction put out by a foreign affairs ministry. 1 second, I'm coming to you, Mahesh Jethmalani, but Abid Rao.
It's not.
Abid Rao, is this some serious engagement? Is this serious engagement? Is this what you're going to stoop down to?
No, it's not. It's a joke.
Is this the only way to try and get India's attention? I mean, we have generally decided, it appears, India has decided to ignore the Pakistani and ignore the Pakistani army, but to seek India's attention by killing small children on the day of Eid. on the Indian side.
First of all, let me say,
Arnab, sick.
Now,
this is sick.
Just listen to me. Sickening. I mean, you don't have the patience to listen. First of all, I am surprised how much does Pakistani haunt you all, that for everything that goes wrong, you want to call them dysfunctional, you call them fools, you call them coward. When 2 or 4 civilians have died, what would you call Indian army when they have killed 130,000 Kashmiri civilians, raped 50,000 women, burned 30,000 houses? What are you talking?
Sir, you know what?
Don't let this be a comparison between the cowardice of Indian army and Pakistan army. If you want to solve the issue, then this is not the way you're going to talk.
Marshal,
no, listen
Marshal, I'll tell you 300 and let me tell you, you want to talk about human rights violations. In 2012, 325 members of the Shia Muslim population were killed in targeted attacks that took place in Pakistan. In Balochistan, hundreds of people were killed, mostly from the Hazara community. You want me to tell you about human rights violations? I am discussing the ceasefire violations. I am discussing the ceasefire violations. Are you willing to debate the ceasefire violations or not?
You want to tell the world.
Then let's bring an end to the ceasefire. Let there be no ceasefire then.
We have the means to defend ourselves.
So many separatist
it is in Pakistan army which has held you at distance.
If you feel,
if Pakistan army was so
Abid Rao, how unfortunate is it? How unfortunate is it that a seasoned military man like you,
and you should say sorry for that.
How unfortunate is it, Mr. Abid Rao, that a seasoned military man like you, who I thought had some humanity in his heart, should be celebrating the fact that the Pakistani army killed a 13-year-old girl on the Indian side? How shocking is it?
And what have you done?
How shocking is it that you making? Are you willing to debate ceasefire violations with me tonight?
You have taken a revenge. So
are you willing to debate ceasefire violations with me tonight?
This kind of jingoism.
We haven't done any violation. Let me say that. My ears have become immune to this, that you are only saying Pakistan is
So where did those mortars come from? Outer space?
It is Indian army who does all this provocation.
Oh, so the Indian army shot at itself. This is ridiculous.
No.
Army kills Indian civilians.
They fight first and Pakistan army is attacking.
So what are you talking about?
This blame game.
What are you talking about? Mahesh Jethmalani, Sheshadri ChariConvenor, D Bakshi, all want to counter you. Mahesh Jethmalani first.
This language is not acceptable from an Indian. Let me say that.
Sir, let me tell you, sir, the gross violations of human rights. Sir, the gross violation of human rights in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. The gross violation of human rights in Pakistan occupied Kashmir is also not acceptable.
What are you doing?
The manner in which the Shia community is tortured in your country is not acceptable.
How many people has your army
number of Baluchis you kill is not acceptable.
India doesn't look nice talking about
Please understand that,
rights.
Sir.
So look any state where you have. What have you done to Sikhs? What have you done to
Christians? There is no third-party intervention that is going to happen. You can keep trying to do this. I'm only telling you, sir, like a civilized country.
You don't want to talk logic, you don't want to talk sense.
Sir, then nobody wants to talk to you.
Versus allegation. This is not the way to settle matters on media.
Nowhere, please, Arnab.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you the clear facts here. And by the way, yes, Mahesh Jethmalani wants to come in. I'm talking about the ceasefire violations, which we think is unacceptable. You can talk about everything else.
Mahesh
Jethmalani, please. Mahesh Jethmalani first.
Arnab, we should not get into this trap of talking to our Pakistani guests on the fact of whether this incident took place or not. We all trust our government, and we have to look at the facts. First of all, there is Pakistani mortar shelling proof. Secondly, there is no reason for the Indian government to lie. We have no agenda. Thirdly, it is the Pakistanis who've been trying to internationalize this whole episode. You saw what Nawaz Sharif did. You saw our response when we said we are going to cut off talks because
anywhere in Europe, when you talk of India, Pakistan, Kashmir comes in. America says Kashmir is a nuclear flashpoint. What else do you want to know?
There is a method. There is a method.
General Bakshi would have said it was a tactical nuclear weapon that has killed 4 people in India. For God's sake, have some balance in your approach. Have some decency in the language that you use.
We don't talk balance to imbalanced people. Anyway, Arnab, the fact of the matter is the real inflection point, because there has to be some method to this madness as to why ceasefire violations have been going on for the last 15 months. But the escalation has a reason. There's a method. And the real reason is because the Indian army, whom the Pakistanis have been at pains to try and paint as an occupying repressive force, has turned out to win appreciation and kudos
with the Kashmiri people after the floods. Pakistan's entire propaganda against the Indian army has collapsed to the ground. They are desperate. That's why they want to internationalize the issue. And when that has failed because of Indian-American strategic talks now leading to success in an anti-terrorist front, they have escalated border violence. That is the plain and simple truth. Look at the matter in its context. They are the ones who need to put Kashmir on the international center stage.
And if there is
they are the ones who would kill civilians.
And if there's anyone
by the way,
who should
the Pakistani army is a rogue army. The Pakistani army is a rogue army which has repeatedly, for the last 2 decades, killed innocent citizens through its proxies, the LET and the Haqqani faction.
I'm glad my army haunts you so much. I'm so happy.
Your army is a rogue army, and you people who support it are rogues following that army.
At least India must realize that.
Sir, Marshal Abid Rao, what you must realize is, and I'm saying this, I'm going to Sheshadri Chari, what you must realize is even a single Indian child's life matters a lot to all of us. What you have done
also
we have not targeted civilian centers. You are targeting civilian centers.
You have killed 4 people.
You are targeting civilian centers.
1 woman and 1 man.
And the second point is that when Sheshadri
if you don't believe me, why should I believe you?
Sir, because I've shown you the facts. Can you tell me which is the specific area, the point, the district, and the name of the person killed?
I don't carry the facts.
Where is the? Give me the details. You have no details with you tonight. You're reading out some Ministry of Foreign Affairs statement, just like Sartaj Aziz who says we never carried out any ceasefire.
1 woman and 60 years old man has died today.
What, sir? Please, you know what? It is not in any civilian. It is not in any civilian area. There is no targeted killing of civilians.
Arnab,
you are killing our civilians in a targeted manner. And I request you to understand that when Sheshadri Chari speaks,
by only accusation.
Sheshadri Chari is the convener of the Foreign Affairs cell of the BJP.
When you talk
he's not a
on
rookie.
these matters.
He's not a rookie. When he's speaking and when he's sending out a clear warning to you today, why don't you get the message, Mr. Zaidi? That this comes from a very senior Indian political functionary.
Let me speak once,
No. Hear from Mr. Chari, then I'll come back to you. Mr. Chari wanted to add something there.
Arnab, I only want to tell my Pakistani friends. I know they may not understand Sanskrit as much as we understand in India, but there is a saying in Sanskrit, Vinasha Kale Viparita Buddhi. When God wants to destroy you, the first thing that He does is He makes you do certain berserk. He liquidates your brain power. He makes you a total wreck as far as brain power is concerned. And you lose all sense of proportion and priority. This is exactly what the Pakistani army has done. It is for people like Mr. Zaidi, Mr. Abid Rao and such people to stand up and support the political establishment which really wants to be friendly with India. I support them, and if they want to really do business with India, they want to talk to India, they want to be friendly with India, they are welcome. But that is exactly not the script that the Pakistani army wants. And let me tell you this time,
we've been trying to support.
God forbid, God forbid, Mr. Zaidi, God forbid, if this incident escalates, I am warning you, that will be the end of Pakistan.
That's a clear word, and hear it. Sheshadri Chari's voice matters. He is the convener of the Foreign Affairs cell of the BJP, and I'd like to tell you this, gentlemen, Sheshadri Chari is a man of great reason. And if like a lot of Indians, you must get the sense here, sir.
I don't need to raise to the bait.
Sir, you just need to understand one thing. You don't need to rise to any bait. We're not putting baits out. But you dared to send a 120mm mortar to kill an Indian child, to kill Indian women, to kill innocent civilians. If you continue to target our civilian areas, you will have an answer that you will probably not forget in a long time. I think this government's intention is very, very clear. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the Newshour Debate tonight.